because I went through so much pain, so deeper than the average person, that on the opposite end, it created this conviction. It allowed me to dream bigger because I needed so much more. The single biggest reason I like sauna and why I use it is because I can compound the healing effects with everything else I want. It's like 5 birds with 1 stone. If you are not sweating and you can't sweat, you are clogged up and your liver's gonna have problems, your lymphatic system's gonna have problems. Foundation we call the daily blueprint. And the idea is, what can I be consistent with on a daily basis that fits my lifestyle that I don't get overwhelmed with?
Welcome to the Sweat Fanatic podcast. This is the spot where we talk about everything that helps you feel and perform your best. Saunas, sweating, cold plunges, ice baths, biohacking, and more. We look into what can make you recover better, feel amazing, and live your healthiest life. Today, we're jumping into how infrared saunas play a role in gut health with someone who knows the struggle of Crohn's and colitis better than anyone. Please welcome Dane Johnson, health advocate, speaker, and the founder of Crohn's Colitis Lifestyle. Dane, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. Saunas have been huge in my personal experiences with autoimmune disease, specifically Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, and really helping to reset the mind, the spirit, detoxing, supporting the liver, getting rid of acne. These are all things that I had to focus on, and the sauna was very impactful, and I actually ended up getting a Good Health Saunas myself after looking around and researching all the possibilities out there. So hopefully we can change some lives and make it make sense for people.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's exciting to talk to you today because you're the man when it comes to gut health and Crohn's disease and so forth. So my partner, Claire, she was very excited for me to talk to you. So she's really into the gut health and how it all affects our mind and our body. Shout out to Claire.
Shout out to Claire. We're going to dedicate this to Claire.
Yeah. For those who don't know your story, can you take us back to when you were first diagnosed and how it led you to explore natural healing methods? It's a long story, isn't it?
Well, it's really essentially, I think, one of the most important stories in life, which is pain to purpose. When something happens to us that we didn't deserve, and we try our best to spend our money, go to different hospitals, go to the best doctors, and we're stuck and no one can relate, and you can't seemingly get out, 2 things happen. Either A, you break, or B, you revolutionize your whole existence. A was what was happening for me. My life broke down for 3 or 4 or 5 years straight. I mean, I'm not kidding. Housebound for a year, stuck in a wheelchair for a period of time, 20 bloody bowel movements a day, was told I needed to get my colon removed. I was on 2 different biologics for what's supposed to be for life. I was diagnosed at 22, 23, first blood in the stool at 19 years old. I had barely been aware of adult existence, and now I'm fighting for my life. The doctors are telling me there's nothing I can do about it. It's one thing to have something bad happen to you, and when you get over that anger, you kind of go, okay, so what's our plan? And then the doctor goes, well, you can take this immunosuppressant for the rest of your life. That's it. It's like, that's it? What?
Come on.
Should I do anything else? What else? And I think we're getting there nowadays. I don't think it's as bad in 2025. But in 2011 and 2010, it was just even more so like, that's it. Like, food doesn't matter, nothing you can do. And so it's the story, and I think it's why I'm here and why I care so much and why I've dug in so much. I was saying this today earlier on a training I was doing, is that because I went through so much pain, so deeper than the average person, I've had a worse IBD experience than 99% of people who've been diagnosed. That, on the opposite end, it created this conviction. It allowed me to dream bigger because I needed so much more. Like, if I had just had a little bit of Crohn's and colitis and went SCD and meditated and the symptoms went away and the biologic worked, I wouldn't have had the conviction. I wouldn't have been able to dream to build a global solution, a global home for anyone dealing with IBD, right? So the more pain you have, the bigger you can dream, the bigger the conviction, the bigger the fire. If you find the conviction to go to option B, which is allow it to become the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yep.
And that's a trial. That's a journey. It's not going to happen quickly. It's the hardest thing you're ever going to do. There's going to be times I guarantee you'll get overwhelmed. I guarantee you'll get anxious. I guarantee you'll want to quit. I guarantee you'll feel lonely. I'll guarantee that there'll be times where you say this is impossible. It's just guaranteed. So expect it. If you're going through that right now, you're where you're supposed to be. When it comes to chronic disease and something happening to you and being a victim of it, it's the steps that you go through. And then something had to click in me. I nearly died of this disease, December of 2014. And that was years of suffering, and something really clicked in me. It clicked in a few times, but there was this major click where I was just done being a victim.
Is that where the major turning point was when you're pretty much on your deathbed?
Well, it was the biggest test I had been under. Like, imagine if you were practicing for a sport and then you had made the Olympics. The Olympics is the biggest test. So when I nearly died, it was the biggest test. It was the, so to speak, Olympics of can I heal myself? And so you just gain that much more wisdom. You get tested that much deeper. You have to find a deeper truth in yourself than ever before. And you can't be swayed by the noise in society and what that part of your brain is, that fear in your brain is trying to enroll you in. You got to enroll your brain and the world in this idea of this is what the reality is, and it is because I say so, and I'm going to manifest it, I'm going to vibrate at it, and you realize that to create it is to actually get happy in the process. You can't be upset, you can't be a victim and heal at the same time. And I'm going to let you in on a clue on this. There's not one person in the world who does not have the feelings of sadness, the feelings of depression, the feelings of anxiety, the feelings of being overwhelmed inside of them. Not one. You don't think Muhammad Ali got overwhelmed? You don't think Martin Luther King got scared?
Michael Jordan?
Your feelings don't define you. How you respond to those feelings and take action on them will define your life. Don't get overwhelmed on a feeling because they're normal. But Dane, I feel sad. I feel sick. I feel angry that this happened to me. I feel angry there's nothing I can do. That's normal, and it will not define you. What are you going to do with those feelings? Because they're energies in motion. They're just waves. They're waves, man. The tides come in.
Yeah.
Emotion, energy in motion. And you can do everything right. You can do everything. I did it all. I did sauna. I did meditation. I did tapping. I did fasting. I did carnivore. You did all these things. And guess what? I will guarantee you, you will still get the feelings of sadness, overwhelm, anxiety, uncertainty. Because it's impossible to get rid of those feelings because those feelings are part of the ebb and flow, the yin and life of what we call life.
The highest of highs come after the lowest of the lows. They feed off of each other.
And you know what's beautiful about that? It's exactly why we continue to care to have these podcasts or these conversations. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't that way and there was a way to stop it, there'd be no reason to exist. There'd be no reason to talk. And if there was no reason to talk, then life would no longer be beautiful. So the funny thing is you want the anxiety, you want the overwhelm, you want the sadness, because without it, life is not beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no reason to be. What are you going to do at 75? What do you care about? Right? What do you care about? The idea of purpose comes from feeling, right? It comes from a place of what is and what isn't and how we feel about it. And it's that constant push and pull that makes us want to dance and sing and also makes us want to cry and soul.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what beauty is. Beauty can't be true without it being fleeting. There's nothing that's beautiful that's not fleeting. So if you want life to be beautiful, this day, this feeling, this love, right? This moment is fleeting, but so is the disease. So is the pain. That was the epiphany. The first thing I did to heal myself was I healed my mind and I healed my spirit. I forgave myself. I forgave God. I created a narrative that this was going to be part of the journey that would give me my best life I could ever had. Like right now, I can't imagine who I'd be without the disease.
Yeah.
Who would I be without all that pain and suffering? Look where I am right now. Look what I get to do with people. Look what I get to make money as a career, helping people heal from the very thing that nearly killed me. What a gift. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
That's how I view it with the saunas is I help people get saunas and it dramatically improves their quality of life. And they're happy and they feel better and their health is better. And it's like, you know, as I'm a firefighter paramedic in that field, a lot of people say it's the greatest job in the world because you help people. And yeah, it is. And I view it the same way with Good Health Saunas. I'm helping people and making money.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Conscious capitalism, they call that. And I think we see so many examples of how to not make money.
Yep.
Especially a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And we need more examples of high integrity, conscious capitalism, of high impact. And those are the people who we need to be, invest in them as our leaders in this Western world. But, that was the thing. And sauna, the big thing sauna did for me in my healing journey, because it was a journey and there are ebbs and flows, and I'm still on a journey now.
Yeah.
Sauna really acted as a sanctuary for me. And I'm serious. Because I was doing sauna for a long, long, long time before I ever invested in getting one, before I did infrared, before I got my own Good Health Saunas. And it was when I started to heal, like I was an avid weightlifter, right? I was strong, I was ripped.
Yep.
I was into it. I've been lifting weights since I was 14. Like I asked my dad for weights when I was 14 for Christmas. That's what I got in the basement, was weights. I wanted to be, I wanted to have a good body and be in shape and strong. I wanted to outperform in basketball and football and swim and I liked being strong. I liked how it made me feel. So I got that bug quick, and saunas, when I got sick, I realized that I didn't have the adrenal health. So when I tried to get back into fitness, I realized that my adrenals couldn't handle me going on a run. My body, I couldn't handle the stress because it is a stress to lift weights. It is a stress to go on a run on your body. And I found that the most optimal stress to give myself when I was no longer anemic, when I had the electrolytes and the minerals, when I had enough weight, was sweat, was sauna. But the reason I love sauna is I could sit there. I didn't have to put a stress. Like when you run to sweat, it's a lot harder on your adrenals. Now, when you're dealing with autoimmune disease and you've been on chronic prednisone, you are going to have adrenal fatigue. That's one of your main problems. So every time you feel like, man, I get stressed, I have a bad day, and then my body freaks out, 9 times out of 10, there's adrenal exhaustion and adrenal fatigue connected to that. So I started working on my adrenals and I would go into the sauna. Now, a sauna is a stress, but I would balance that stress by meditating in the sauna.
Yeah.
So when my body felt that my heart rate went up and started hitting 80% max heart rate, and I started feeling that pressure of get out, my eyes were closed, my body was open, and I would do, 3-4 second inhalation exhalations, and I would calm my body down, and I'd ask my body to be calm in the space of feeling this pressure, feeling this stress, feeling this. And that was working on my heart. That was releasing toxins from my body. It was giving me a dopamine hit. A lot of people don't realize sweat will give you a great dopamine hit. If you were trying to come off alcohol, drugs, sugar, you need to replace where you get dopamine.
Yep.
And sauna can be great for that. And also, if you're scared that's going to kill me, it's going to turn into cancer, sauna will reduce disease, all-cause mortality up to 40%. Now, that clinical research is in more of a dry sauna, but still, you heat the body. I like the hybrid Good Health Sauna. That's the investment I'd go for. I'd spend the extra money to get the hybrid up to 165 because I had the 140 infrared. I love the 165 way better just because I can get in there, get it done. And I like the higher temperatures, which is what a dry sauna is.
For
it's
sure.
Just higher temp.
And to go back to what you said about the mental stress of being in there, and everything in your body is telling you, I have to get out of this thing. This thing, it's too hot. I'm feeling claustrophobic. And the benefits of just silencing your mind, making it quiet, and then doing your breathing exercise or just breathing slow and controlled, I think I'm glad you touched on that, because I think that's one of the benefits of saunas that gets overlooked the most. Because you do hear about pain relief and detoxification and reducing your risk for cancer, and that stuff's more kind of out there, but the actual mental benefits of increased focus, attention span, mood from the mental stress, that's one of the biggest reasons why I use mine. But yeah, the Good Health Saunas Hybrid series, I mean, that is the hottest infrared sauna in the market. That thing's intense. So I love that thing.
You know, if I had to name my single biggest reason I like sauna and why I use it, is because I can compound the healing effects with everything else I want. It's like 5 birds with 1 stone. So here's an idea. When you're chronically sick, how do you start to get your body back in shape and performance? You need to work on your heart rate, right? You need to work on your ability. And then one of the best things you can do to work on your drainage pathways, your detoxification, is to sweat. So I'm optimizing my drainage pathways. That's going to help the liver. It's going to help boost glutathione levels. I'm getting a dopamine hit. When you get out of there and you're like, woo, like you're going to think better. You're going to handle adversity better. You're not going to be as depressed, even if your symptoms are the exact same. So if I had Crohn's or colitis, for example, and I had 10 bowel movements a day, if I'm getting in the sauna, I'm going to be more resistant to the worry and fear and doubt of those said 10 bowel movements. I'm going to look younger. My skin's going to get better. Acne. I had severe cystic acne, and that helped that get it out. Especially if I'm doing antipathogens, I'm killing off parasites, bacteria, candida. That's going to help release those endotoxin buildups in my body to reduce the chance of a Herxheimer reaction. Now, there's a time and place. If you're chronically sick, you really need to be knowing what you're doing with hydration, electrolytes, minerals, vitamins. You know, magnesium is a huge problem. If you're sweating, you are going to be very deficient in magnesium. You have to be able to be taking magnesium glycinate. Got to be taking good, clean electrolytes. I use Elite by Body Bio. I don't like all the preservatives and sweeteners and all those. So I like Body Bio's Elite, and then I'll use like nano minerals. I use something called Bone Matrix by Listen to Your Gut, Jeannie Patel, which has got boron and a few other fantastic copper, a few other fantastic harder to find minerals. But I'm getting all those up. Now when I'm in there, I might meditate. I might read a book. Like when I was healing, I remember days, I'm 190 pounds right now. I was in there at 135, 140 pounds because my body was ready to sweat, even though I was still very underweight. I wasn't lifting weights. It just wasn't there yet, the stress. So I go in the sauna and I would read for the first 15 minutes. And there'll be big muscle guys. And every once in a while, I'd be like, what are you reading? Like I'd be in there every day. You know what I was reading? Tony Robbins, Unlimited Power, Unleash the Giant Within, Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Dr. Susan Blood. I was reading Jordan Rubin. I was reading all these guys where while I'm sweating, I'm working on my mind. So that's the single biggest reason is I can work on my fitness, detox, and I can compound it by taking this time to work on my mind and work on what I'm trying to create. So it's one of the best things you can compound with something else. So if I do other protocols, it's hard to compound them together like you can with a sauna.
People from all over the world reach out to you that have Crohn's disease, I can never say the word, ulcerative. Thank you. I appreciate it. So when they come to you, I'm sure they're in a lot of pain, their quality of life is not very good, and their health is failing. It seems like you have a multifaceted approach to helping patients deal with these disrupting diseases. What does your treatment protocol entail in a brief, kind of short message?
Yeah. So the first thing I want to do is I want to build a foundation that they feel like they can do and they feel hopeful can address some of their root issues. So there's this education of, it's like a chess match. Like we think these are the main issues that are causing said problems. And we have to do a lot of intake of like, where are you? What's the big thing that's interrupting your life? Who are you? And then we build that foundation. And the foundation we call the daily blueprint. And the idea is, what can I be consistent with on a daily basis that fits my lifestyle that I don't get overwhelmed with? So if I give it to this, for example, a person A versus person B, they might have the same symptoms, same diagnosis, but one person might have 3 kids and a job and we working 80 hours a week and work the weekends or the nights. And that might be different than the other person on the left who's single and has the time. So I'm also listening to you with, are you okay? Do you want to hit this as hard as you can? What's your budget at? Are you okay taking 15 supplements or you only want to take 5? And you say, wow, do I need to take 15? You don't need to. I'm just understanding where you are, the more I understand you, the more I can build the plan I want for you that fits your life, and I know what gear to put it in. And that's the thing is people want to love their plan. If one of the biggest things that was hard for me was when I came in, I was like, I need to heal. I would get a plan. I'd pay a doctor all this money and I would hate the plan, loathe the plan. Like, great. It's chicken, it's bone broth, and then chicken with white rice for 3 weeks and then come and talk to me. So it's like, all right, count the days, day 2. And it's like, just eat these 2 things, don't do anything else, go to bed. And I would just loathe. And you know what I would do? I would escape through Netflix. I would binge movies. I wouldn't even get dressed for the day. I am just trying to live through these days. And I'm trying to figure out how to eat this crappy, tasteless, disgusting stuff one more time. That was my experience in 2012, 2013, 2014. So I've got to build a plan that you're excited about, that you love. And I know there's a lot of things. Like if I build an elemental shake and you can handle fruit, now I've got blueberry. Now I've got taste. I've got sugar. I've got monosaccharides. I've got potential banana. I got strawberry, maybe even papaya. So I've got good taste in there. Maybe I've got really well-cooked chicken wings. Now, like if you're a game day, if I'm a sports guy, like I know he probably likes wings. Okay, I got wings in there. Maybe I'm talking to a vegan who really likes oatmeal. Okay, maybe I'm doing pressure cooked and sprouted rolled oats with a little bit of raspberry and blueberry and sprouted and grounded flax and chia because they can handle the fiber versus person B can't handle that fiber yet, or they haven't been built that way. So I am painting a canvas with you, and then I'm making sure you feel comfortable. And then I say, do this, which we created together for 2 weeks. Then we dance with it. It's like a symphony. So I build that first symphony, and then we come back. We might change the A to an A minor. We might, for the second chorus, we might go up and lift it here or lift it there based on what happened. So you're only doing something for 2 weeks, and then I'm adding on it. So I'm getting to know what your dreams are, what you're excited about. Like if I'm dealing with an athlete, I'm like, Sauna is going to be great for you for your heart rate variability. It's going to be great for that dopamine you're always looking for. It's great to get rid of these toxins. If I'm dealing with someone, I find heavy metals, mycotoxins. If I'm dealing with a girl, this is a notorious answer I get from a lot of young women, is that they never sweat. Well, I never sweat. I go to the gym and I do a few butt exercises and I never sweat. And it's like, and it's like, maybe it's a grotesque thing. They don't feel pretty or something, but if you are not sweating and you can't sweat, you are clogged up and your liver's going to have problems. Your lymphatic system's going to have problems.
Yep, you are exactly right. I hear that all the time with people. That I'll have couples come to me and they're like, okay, either the husband wants to get the sauna or the wife wants to get the sauna. And then the other person will be like, well, this is more for them because I don't really sweat. And that's the first thing. What you just said is exactly what I tell them. I go, hey, this thing's going to flush out every pore of your body. Every square inch of your body is going to rain sweat off your body. And the more you sweat, the better you feel, right? And
balance.
And then your body's
balance to a balance of that. Like you don't want to be sweating 7 days a week for an hour. Unless you're a highly conditioned person. Yeah.
Right. And then I'll be like, your body starts to adapt to it and you start sweating easier. But also you got to make sure you're hydrated, right? Because if you don't have anything inside of you, you don't have anything to sweat out of you either. So, but I get a lot of people that will come to me, weeks, months after, and they'll be like, you're right. Once they started using the sauna, I am sweating a lot more, and it's done wonders for my health. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. Comments. We always love to hear from you, and I always love to hear from you. That helps us out tremendously. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you see podcasts. I'm Eric Krolowitz. I'm the host of the Sweat Fanatics podcast, and get out there and sweat.